The first Sunday of each month, we give away the entire cash collection to an organization that we both have a connection to and is expressing our values in the world. Jenny Wheel, member of our church, and tell us your title at HRI.
Good morning. So I'm the Director of Development at Human Rights Initiative of North Texas.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us about, we're going to see some pictures of some of the people who have been served by HRI.
Yes, you'll see some of our clients. You will notice right away that our child clients, our young clients, are much happier about having their photographs taken. So it's going to skew young, but those are the faces of some of the people served by the Human Rights Initiative.
And what are they receiving?
So we provide free...
Get that mic up.
Up?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
I'll never learn. We provide free legal and social services to immigrant survivors of human rights abuses. So a narrow band of immigrants are served by our organization. We've been around for 20 years, so we help people to follow the law and to obtain legal status, and we provide the critical social services that support them while they're in that process.
Okay, so there are immigrants and there are refugees, and there's a difference, and tell us what that is.
Correct. People migrate for many, many reasons. Sometimes for economic opportunity, sometimes they're fleeing a natural disaster or a war. So anyone can be a migrant. A refugee is someone who has status before they leave their home country. So the international community recognizes that because of a natural disaster or a war, that many, many people will be moving from one country to another. Immigrants served by HRI come to the United States because they're fleeing persecution and abuse, and they have to fight, although they are invited to the United States by humanitarian provisions in our immigration law. They have to fight individually for their status to be recognized as humanitarian immigrants, and then for their legal status once they get here.
So tell me a story about that.
Okay. We served 631 clients last year, and almost twice as many in our social services. So it's a little bit difficult to pick a story, but I'm going to pick one because there are so many of you in the room who actually work with HRI in one capacity or another. We were nominated by Alan Wright, who is one of our pro bono attorneys. I'm going to tell you a story about a case he handled just recently. So some of our clients are children eligible for legal status because they've been abused, abandoned, or neglected by one or both of their parents. And the family courts determine that they have no one to protect or provide for them in their home country. So the way that used to work is the family court makes that determination, USCIS, which is an administrative body, recognizes it, and those children then are eligible to live within the United States. This has become increasingly difficult. We had a client whose father murdered her mother. So she literally had no one to look after her, young child. Her community managed to get her here across the border, a terrifying and difficult journey, which involved plenty of trauma. Of course, once she gets here, she goes through detention. She's moved from shelter to shelter, and she's trying to reunite with a family member here, with a grandparent here. Family court says, of course, you are eligible. USCIS said not so fast. So we went through all the normal appeals. Alan's law firm helped us file a federal appeal. As soon as they saw that there was a federal appeal, they reversed their decision. That child now has legal status within the United States, and we'll be supporting her as she gets enrolled in school, as her family reconstructs. She's living in a brand new world, in a brand new family. So we'll support that family as that child begins to realize the safety and freedom and opportunity that she came to the United States for and that we promise her in our laws.
So I imagine in that story I hear both volunteer opportunities and also donations that do actual work for human beings who are struggling and
that's right,
going through things way beyond some of what we can imagine. So are there people here can volunteer? Who are they? And then what does the collection we give you today do?
So let me say a quick word about that. So we depend on volunteers. We're a very small staff. We serve those hundreds and thousands of people over the last 20 years because of our volunteers. We have 500 volunteers in the area donating many kinds of services. I mentioned pro bono attorneys. That's crucial to our work. But we also have translators. Charlie Smith, who was here first service, translates for us. John Jaggers sings at our events. He's going to do that again this year. Stan and Trish and many others are very generous supporters. So what do your dollars do? Well, you're helping to pay for legal services without which people today, in the current climate of immigration, cannot hope to exercise their right to enter the United States. You support social services for things like ESL, trauma counseling, expert testimony when necessary, helping people secure food and housing and medical care. So all of those things are paid for. We operate so lean because we have so many volunteers, so 95% of what we receive goes directly to program. And we'll get about $3 in services for every dollar donated. So you're helping us stay agile and keep up with an ever-changing set of demands and serve an increasingly traumatized, unwell, and struggling group of individuals who will go on to live very productive lives. They will resume their studies and their professional lives, but only if we stand with them and we say that there's still enough people in this country who believe in a just and compassionate immigration system, willing to honor the promises that our laws make to them. And so that's what your dollars do. You speak through your dollars and you provide essential life-saving services.
Okay, thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank you.